Since the beginning of time, men have been competing with each other to rise to the top of the social hierarchy of like the tribe, if you will. And it's been shown in countless studies how beating other men in something as simple or as meaningless as like a rowing machine competition can have profound impacts mentally and chemically. Like for example, the men who won this like rowing challenge had a 15% testosterone spike on average, and the men that lost had a 10% drop, which is a 25% margin, so literally a quarter margin of testosterone levels just from winning some like bullshit rowing machine. And obviously, as you probably know, testosterone directly impacts your confidence, your risk-taking ability, and your self-image. So that 25% can literally be the difference between you making a move on a girl and end up like dating her, like meeting your future wife, or you not doing it, right? Or the difference between you getting a promotion and not doing it, or literally anything else where confidence is a factor, which when I think about it, is literally everything to some degree, right? And so that's just rowing. That's just 25% difference from a meaningless rowing competition. But what is the most fundamental male competition? The one that can be traced back to the beginning of time, all the way back to the present, throughout all of history. The one that men dedicate most of their lives to and compete ferociously to, and all of the micro competitions lead up to, is competing over women. So I know nowadays in the modern like civilized society, we're not fighting each other to the death over girls, obviously. And I can guarantee these competitions still exist every single day in your life, and you're just too blind to realize they're happening. And the worst part is they're secretly decreasing your confidence and your self-image without you even realizing what's happening. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to, number one, recognize when these moments are happening, and two, be able to, be able to navigate your way through these scenarios to like win them easily so that you can have that winning mindset, so you can have that confidence that propels you forward in all of life's endeavors. So, I want to tell you a story about how I realized this was happening to me. Because obviously, I mean, I've had this channel for a little while, but I never really realized these things until it was like a week ago now, or maybe 2 weeks ago, in a uni class. So it was like a practical class. So basically, we all sit at tables and we go and like do activities. We're not like sitting listening to a lecture. And so this girl left this guy's group to join my group because I think he was like screwing around or he wasn't really paying attention. So she said, "Oh, can I join your group?" I said, "Yeah, whatever, I don't care." And then she starts like following me around everywhere. And it's like, cool, whatever. So at some point in the practical, I had to get up off the table and walk over to get something. And when I come back, this dickhead who she's left in the group is sitting in my chair next to her, talking about, "Oh, you have to go to the back of the line, just grab another chair." Like, I was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Yeah, like, you left your chair, you've got to go to the back of the line now." I was like, "Fucking, what are you talking about, back of the line?" "Yeah, like when I get up." "No, fuck off." And so he said, "Just grab another chair." And you might be thinking, "Oh, yeah, he's just being funny, whatever." It's disguise. In my mind, in that moment, I thought, "Oh shit, this is disguised as friendly intent." But I think it's more of a dominance play to come off superior in front of this girl because he's butthurt that this girl left him to come to my group, and now he's trying to like do this bullshit like dominance play to try come off as like dominant over me by like taking my stuff. I know that sounds like kind of like an overreaction, but I don't know. It sort of makes made sense when I thought about it, and it makes sense to me now. And so I didn't really care about the girl, to be honest. I was not interested, but I didn't want this dickhead to have one over me. Like I didn't want this guy to, for my own like ego and my own like testo. I wasn't thinking about, oh yeah, I'll have testosterone drop if I lose this. But like I was thinking, I don't want this dickhead to have one over me because I don't respect him and I don't want him to be walking over me. So I had a choice. I could either grab a chair and placate him, or risk making a scene by refusing. So I chose the latter. I looked at him in the eyes and said, "Move." Maybe not exactly like that, but I was like, "Move." And he said, "Why don't you get a chair?" "I'm not doing that. This is my chair. Move." He looks at me and just holds the eye contact. It was only like a second or two, but it felt like forever. And I start thinking like, oh shit, now I'm like really fucked. If he doesn't move, if he calls a bluff, I'm gonna have to actually like physically pick him up and move him, and then I have to make a scene, and that will probably be an overreaction. Would I lose reputation by doing this shit? Probably. I thought probably if I pick him up, that would be an overreaction. I'd lose some reputation. I'd like come off as a bit aggressive. So I just held the eye contact, and the frame because you have to think about he's he's pretty much sat down like I am now, and I was like behind the chair, like looking down at him like that. So maybe he's like looking up, and my head's like there looking down. So I just held the proximity, which you can watch my video on 10 things that make you look weak, which is I talk about proximity and eye contact. I held the eye contact, held the frame, and just looked. And so I just continued the contact, continued these things, and at some point, which felt like forever, it was probably only like 5 or 10 seconds, I won. He said, "Okay, fine." Tried to laugh it off, like, whatever. And then ended up standing behind me and this girl. Not like the dominance thing, but just like weirdly, like almost a meter or two behind us, watching us talk and do the work together, me and this girl. Maybe he was living vicariously through me or something. I don't know. And it was him and his friend from the group because it was like a group of three. And then at some point they left. I didn't even notice they were gone. I just turned around and was, oh shit, they're gone, whatever. And so then, probably at least partially due to this whole dominance display or whatever, the girl then followed me to the bus stop, then on the bus, then on the train until I got off. And like I said, I wasn't interested in her, but I'm still glad I won. And that may sound arrogant or whatever, but to be honest, it propels me forward. Like, I just felt I had some extra energy that day, and I think it was due to that little testosterone boost from like winning, winning the female. It sounds super autistic when I say it out loud, but I think there is genuine like chemistry of this, and it makes sense to me, right? And so, yeah, I was more socially confident the rest of that night. I was more disciplined at home, and I felt good about myself, which, to be honest, is a win in itself. Because, in my opinion, feeling good about yourself is one of the most fundamental things in your life. Like, you want to have lots of people that love you, but you want to also love yourself. I know that sounds super cheesy or whatever, but I think it's really, really pertinent to have a strong mind and a strong will. I think the foundation of that is believing in yourself. And so this experience last week was, or whenever it was like the first time I really realized this was happening. And since then, I've noticed a couple times, even the last few days, now that I know what I'm looking for and I'm consciously seeking it out. So whenever there's you and another guy's involved, she's she's like his or your girlfriend, unless they're like a thing. Even if she's his girlfriend, to be fair, this competition is happening, whether you realize it or not. And so in terms of how to like win it or to come out victorious, I can't give you like a magic line or an action because that's situational, of course. But what I can give you is a couple of principles to stick to in when you're in this position, and that will help guide you towards the best course of action for your specific scenario. And these are in no particular order. And I'm not going to explain them for too long. And like I said, I have the 10 habits video, which I'll chuck the timestamp up on, or I'll chuck the link on the screen now for more strategies than the ones I'm about to give you, as well as like a proper explanation. But help this guide you. So, eye contact, like I mentioned this before, if you hold the eye contact, it's quite powerful. And you don't want to break eye contact. Obviously, usually you want to break eye contact, but if the whole vibe you're going for is like a dominance thing, you want to hold it. Proximity, so like how close you are to someone, self-explanatory. Voice depth and volume, you want to make sure. If I say move, that's not going to do anything. I have to be like move, right? You need the depth and the volume. And I think this one is kind of important. Don't overreact. Stay calm but firm, because if you get too aggro, it shows they're getting to you and it shows a loss of control. And also, like, it breaks the social conventions because you don't want to be acting too physical. So you want to maintain like a calm but authoritative stance. And so, like I said, I don't want to repeat myself that much. So watch that video for the full list. And if you're still watching, I appreciate it. I know this seems like super red pill Andrew Tate, compete for women, whatever. But I guarantee once your eyes are open to this and you start noticing this competition, you'll realize how true it really is. Like, just think about it logically. Why would I make a video on this? Like, I could always stick to the same style of videos, you know, or 10 tips, whatever. And I know this video won't perform as well. But if you're still watching it, it means you're part of the minority who understand that this is actually a good concept, hence why I'm talking about it, and you have an open mind. And I guarantee your life will change for the better. Like, You can feel free to click off. I'm going to give another example just so you can help realize this. So just a few weeks ago, again, I didn't notice it in the time, but now I look back at it in hindsight and I'm like, oh shit. So I met up with this girl. She's just a friend of mine, and she's has a boyfriend, and so I hang out with her for like an hour, hour and a bit, whatever. And the boyfriend comes up, and he starts off acting super like weird and like quiet and insecure and whatever. Like he just won't look at me in the eyes and he won't like do anything. Then he starts like glazing the hell out of me. I don't know what that was about, but he starts calling me like he literally quote in front of his girlfriend is crazy. He literally called me a physical specimen, and I'm like, bro, like what the fuck? Like relax. What else did he do? I'm trying to remember because there was like one thing in particular, which which was like the competitive thing. Hold on, I'll pause this recording and I'll like think about it and I'll resume it. Oh yeah. He started like acting like started like puffing his chest up, and the thing is as well, it's kind of sad, but this guy's like quite short. Like I'm just for reference, I'm 6'4" and a bit, so I don't know, 194, 195 centimeters, and this guy was like 5 foot, I think like 3 or 4, so I was like a foot taller than him or more, and so he starts like trying to do like the whole Napoleon complex thing, and yeah, it was a bit sad, and then he tries to get like overly like touchy with the girl as well. Like he starts like really grabbing her and she starts pulling away like towards me. And it was just oh bro, it was so awkward. And like Loki, I felt bad for the guy because again, I'm not interested in the girl. Like she's nice and she's a friend, but nothing more than that. And yeah, it just in hindsight now that I had that experience, it's like oh shit, like that guy was probably just trying to do the same thing. And so yeah, Loki, this kind of stuff happens everywhere. So in your life, you'll probably notice this all the time anytime there's a female involved in a scenario, unless she's married, genuinely, this stuff is happening. And so yeah, if you're still watching, like dang, I really appreciate it. I've got a course in the description which you can pre-order, which will give you like the complete roadmap to going from zero social confidence to pretty much can navigate any situation really well. And well, because there's a pre-sale, like there's a pretty big discount at the moment. So if you're interested in that, first thing in the description. Other than that, there'll be some videos popping up on the screen. So click in, let me know how it goes. And yeah, have a good rest of the day and enjoy your socializing.